out in Seattle.
Leaning against the bookshelf in the library that opened up into a secret hallway, and there I was at podcasting.
What?
Yeah, feeling good about things. Hey Rockstars, it's Amara, and I am here today really briefly just to give you an intro to this video. This one's a little bit weird. They're all a little bit weird. This one's weirder. I've gone to both of the PodCons. I love and I'm interested in podcasts, but it is an area that I'm still learning a lot about. I think it's kind of fun to attend a convention with that light. A podcast convention by nature is a little bit different. Podcasters talk a lot, and they talk about all kinds of things as they come up. If you are ready for basically what it is like to have a snapshot of an experience of going to PodCon, rewatching the footage feels to me a lot like being there, and I'm really hopeful that that's what will translate for you. So enough of me talking, because this one's pretty long. Here we go.
Podcasts made people interested in speech audio again in a way they haven't been since the television was invented. Podcasts let me start something without getting anyone's permission. Podcasts let me experiment in a creative form and learn more than I've ever learned doing anything, which was a real waste of the 17 years I spent in formal education. Podcasts let me speak to hundreds of thousands of people without leaving my room. But it's also sent me all the way around the world. And thanks to podcasts, I've met some of my favourite people. And thanks to podcasts, you're here, and so am I. You might not think this is a great word. You might not even think it's a good word. But it's our word. It's our word.
So there's this table and there's all these cassettes on it. My new friend Zach right over here. Zach asked me if I would like to sit down and record a podcast using a cassette tape. And by gum, y'all know that's a thing I'm gonna do, so here we go. Do I need to rewind back and then listen and then and go? Okay. Oh snap, you guys can see it through rewinding. Look at that. Now I have to stop before I have to listen to like a whole bunch of this, because I've got to get to the end of it and then I have to wait a little bit and then I write the next piece of this.
Very strange panel to attend today. A man with two heads walked down the street, but no one noticed or cared. Why? Everyone was busy. Because in this cellular age, am I right? Oh, put your phone down and look at the dude with two heads. Zayfon Beeblebox was filming. You just wanted to say Zayfon Beeblebox out loud. That's okay. What's the answer? The second head was the head of lettuce he was carrying. Good for you, Doug! Eating healthy! This is from Riddles.com, a website we like to visit from time to time. And I did not realize about this website there is a like-dislike function, sort of similar to YouTube videos. I looked through a few of these. I looked through a lot of these. There's not a single one with a positive ratio. Because every so often you'll see one where it's like 10 likes, 100 dislikes. I'm like, ooh, gotta check this out. Yeah.
I like to interact with people on social media, not shocking if you know me. Reached out to this artist that I saw do this really cool sketch, and her name is Lydia. And Lydia is right here. Hi. Wanted to highlight her art though and bring that to you guys because this is something cool, and I occasionally see people who do art when a convention's happening.
I like to listen, and in order to listen without thinking about the 30,000 people around me, I usually just draw so that I can listen. I'm a podcast person.
Right.
Can you imagine? I like them.
And it was really beautiful art, and then later you got them signed, right?
Yeah, I got it signed by Hello from the Magic Tavern, so.
Which I have listened to an episode of.
I've listened to half of them. The first thing I said to them was I'm not a real fan. I was I'm so sorry, I'm here.
They were it counts, it's fine.
And then they were oh my God, now you really have to be committed to us. I was God, I'm stuck with you now. It's terrible.
I had a huge moment with this also with the con, because I only listen to a handful of podcasts and they're all very niche and special or researching things, and sometimes I'll listen to podcasts about those things. You go to PodCon and there's some language and lexicon, just with VidCon and YouTube, there are things that people commonly know about, including a little thing called Nightvale. It's a big deal. Spoilers, I hadn't listened to any of Nightvale until 4 days ago. So I listened to a couple episodes, but then I'm out with a friend who's much more involved with podcasts in general. We passed somebody and I go, hold on, is that the cloud?
I saw the cloud yesterday.
And she was yeah, that's the glow cloud. Good job, Amara. And I was yeah, feeling good about things. This is a board of things that scare people, and it has gotten scarier, which is in itself frightening.
All the way out in Seattle, we've been found by a haunted doll watch. Mischievous Ray, a haunted spirit doll, haunted doll child, is the eBay listing. You can, it's currently bidding with no bids, starting at $9.99. An evil number almost. Rhea is the spirit of a 9-year-old child. That's a rough start. That's why it's $9.99. Her favorite things to communicate
are No, Mine, Get It, Pretty Kitty, Apple Time. Apple Time. She is known to be heard giggling, especially when your back is to her.
Why would you ever turn your back on something haunted like here?
She is very content as she is.
Good for her. Why? We're all trying to get there, right? I mean, that's an interesting thing that Justin exploded. You walk into, there's not a toy store anymore, huh? Yeah. You walk into an American Girl store, and it's like, good. Everyone here has fulfilled their charge on Earth and ascended into the afterlife. All of these empty husks. I just think, maybe, like, she died, and she got trapped in a doll, and she was like, oh, no, you know what, it's apple time.
Easily adjust to new places and people. If you don't mind bumps in the night and hearing giggling and the sounds of little feet running around.
I do mind.
This is my favorite part. She will arrive to you carefully and safely packed in a discreet manner. My items are well known and loved across social media.
Oh wait, who was this?
Mysterious Raya?
Oh yeah, she's great! Over on Tumblr.
Previously, I was one of the highest and trusted spirit item sellers on eBay until it took a break a few years back for family and self-care.
You sold a doll that killed someone.
This week, you're haunted doll. People look in the mirror and they say, I don't deserve a podcaster as a partner. You do. You have a lot to offer. Please, don't deny it.
There's a little podcast inside of all of us.
Thank you, Griffin. Gross.
I just remembered a really bonkers bit of Benjamin Walker inspiration. In summer 2016, he was in London, so we were hanging out, and he was in quite a low ebb about theory of everything, and I think he felt really out of creative juice. And we were walking around, we were supposed to go for dinner with my husband, but he wasn't ready yet, so I was like, what am I going to do with Benjamin in this part of town for half an hour or so, and like everything around is just West Elm stores and stuff. And then I remembered that in the university where my husband works, there's the corpse of British social reformer and founder of utilitarianism, Jeremy Bentham. And I thought, well, that's a weird thing. I guess I'll take Benjamin to see the corpse of Jeremy Bentham. It's just in this wooden cabinet in a corridor in the university. And Benjamin is like a new person, seeing Jeremy Bentham, who's like, oh my god, and then started recording the corpse and recording himself with the corpse. And then he made a 15-episode mini-series about the corpse of Jeremy Bentham. Inspiration is everywhere.
They still take his body into the annual meeting of the board of directors for the museum, for the festival. And when
Britain is so weird.
They do, and they take attendance as you do in like Robert's Rule of Orders or whatever. And Bentham is always listed on the roll as present but not voting.
I guess that makes it easier to make quorum.
Podcast recommendation. Gotta see if my show's on here.
The two of us became friends, and I did a charity event that we then tried to turn into a TV show, and then the show just kind of stalled out. It never actually made it to air. Finally, I just got frustrated and I said, Josh, can we just start a podcast together? I thought this was my chance to finally ask all my annoying questions about the West Wing to Josh, but do it in a professional setting so it would seem like it was reasonable.
I'm listening to Lead This Pod in a very full train right now. I'm laughing so hard my eyes started watering, everyone's looking at me. Should I just continue to laugh and listen and ignore everyone? How should one deal with this situation? I think that I replied to this tweet in I quote tweeted and said, obviously just tell them about the pod.
And in the end, it's really what you make of it.
There is a point at which there is genuinely too much of something amazing. Maybe it's best for some experiences to be on the that definitely did not last long enough end of the spectrum, because at least there is a purity to that understanding. You definitely know how you feel about it, and in a world of dramatic complexity, it's nice to have some definite things. The people who are in this room together right now will never, ever be in a room together again. But we will take the experience we had here out into the world, and they will be a part of us, and a part of our worlds. Ultimately, you never really leave PodCon because PodCon will stay with you.
Thanks for watching Rockstars Best Adventures. This is Amara in Seattle. Please join us on the next adventure. I've got a series of really interesting things coming up. I'm super excited about where the channel is going in 2019. I have this book. It says Every Day Matters, and you know what? It does. That contains some of the secrets of what's coming to Amara in Seattle in 2019. If you like the idea of attending a convention for something you're interested in and looking to learn more about, go ahead and like up this video. You can hit subscribe so you're part of the next adventure. Sometimes that's things like conventions or learning about adventure in everyday life, which is what we do here on Amara in Seattle. It's adventure as a lifestyle. You are a podcast person. Let me know some of your favorite podcasts down below. I'm increasingly interested in them, and since PodCon, I've just been like, all podcasts, that's podcast, by the way, in Amara weird hand motions. And if you don't listen to podcasts, what is a convention you'd like to go to? Or you could tell me both. Let me know in the comments below. Some housekeeping. I'm going to be going to VidCon in London pretty soon. If you're going to be going to VidCon London, please reach out to me. I can be found on almost all social media as @Amara in Seattle. Also, because you've stuck around this long, it's time for bonus content.
My new friend Lydia.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, and there will be a link in the space down below, which is where links live. And lots of links will be there. I'm not quite sure what all of them are, but I'll put some so you guys can find stuff. Because, you know, that's fun. It's like getting to go to a convention without going. Because I believe in that. Or if you went to the convention, it's like getting to continue to go to the convention through continuing to consume the things you learn there. There is
the magic.
Right, there's no reason, like the internet magic, whatever happens to you, or the places you've been, or the things that are inspiring, have to stop when they're over. Like those, you're allowed to revisit and find inspiration over and over again.
That's what Vines are for. They're circular.
No, we don't talk about Vine. That was a sad time for internet people. I'm kidding. There's the glow cloud, and she's lovely, and it's amazing, and it probably ruined a living room, but like, look at it. For normal people, that would be ruining a living room. For Amara, it would be improving upon the living room. Hey, look, I found Kathy.
Hi.
Kathy does not yet have a podcast about books, but she does have a YouTube channel about books.
So many books.
And she's going to be hosting, is it the Bibliophile meetup?
It is, yeah.
Because you like books.
I really do.
So much so that we traded books.
We did. We've already touched each other's books.
You guys can find out more about that. We're going to do Valentine's, which she's co-hosting, because books.
Yep.
Anyway, that's happening February. Something for you to fall in love with that is bookish, just saying.
I will see you all Tuesday for Travel Tuesday. Where are we going next? I'm not sure. And neither are you. We'll find out Tuesday. Take care, Rockstars. Wild stuff is coming.